Last day we have learned about basic or fundamentals of the software engineering, what is software engineering, and also about basic steps of software development life cycle. But we didn't discuss it in detail, so just for the requirement we have done, because like in software engineering about these life cycle steps, if you're studying, you have to learn. It is also a separate section, separate area that you can study, because system analyst like jobs or system requirement analyst analyzing, so like jobs require this software development life cycle SDLC technology. Actually, we are focusing much about coding, therefore we consider this design part as well as the development part or the coding part more. But when you analyze SDLC, there are things to learn. We just discussed the basic and we came to the coding and designing part, and we learned that these are the symbols. These are the symbols that we can use for drawing a flow chart. Then we learned there are 3 control structures. So that means how program flow is controlled. There are 3 ways. The program flow is, one method is sequence. In sequence, these instructions are executed one after another. You can see it's order way of executing instructions, very clear. One instruction after that, the next instruction. So flowing down like a waterfall. So it's very easy to understand. So that is the first control structure we have learned, that is sequence. Then we learn how can we convert this control structure, how can we convert this flow chart into a coding. Actually, I couldn't tell much about this pseudocode. Pseudocode means just writing the code in structured English. So without explaining it much, if you can write like this, let's say start or begin, then you can say input N1, N2, and N3. Then let's say total equal N1 plus N2 plus N3. And then average equals same thing, right? Total divide by 3, and then print or display both total and the average, then stop, right? If you write like this is structured way of writing the same code. But this code is actually, it's not executing. We are not going to run this code. It is just a structured English. So why do we write this in structured English? Because, you know, if I write a whole paragraph, or if I write a paragraph or maybe a set of paragraphs to explain this scenario, so it is like more, it is more language dependent. It will become more language dependent. Means like, okay, someone who's fluent in English can understand that well, but maybe an average person or a person, Asian or someone who's not really like who don't know much about English, so they will get it difficult to understand. So maybe the statements can be ambiguous, right? It can be a mess, it can be ambiguous, like they cannot understand this properly. That kind of thing can happen. But so this kind of English, anyone can understand, even an average person, even a weak person. So by just looking at this, they can understand. So this is clear, because it's not considering much about grammar. It's not about grammar, actually. It's not even about spellings, and still not about the sentence and sentence coherence. So nothing is there. Just some words, some keywords, or some words that highlight the process. That is all. So this is called structured English. So explaining program in few words just using structured English is called pseudocode. So this is called pseudocode. Actually, pseudocode is kind of a fake code. It is explain the code using structured English. Simple, and everyone will easy. That is the idea of writing pseudocodes. Okay, please write down this part because we couldn't write this last day. So I think you can write down this somewhere. Maybe relate in your note itself, you can write down. So what is this pseudocode? Pseudocode is writing things in structured English. Right? Writing these things in structured English. It's easy because you can see. So anybody can understand this very easy without considering much about the language. That is the idea. That is why the pseudocodes are. Let me add that to the note itself. But the thing is, you can just write down in separate, maybe in the note itself, if you have printed that, you can write down. Otherwise, please write this in your book. Begin. It's very simple. Input. Same thing that is in the flow chart. Actually, I'm writing the same thing that is in the flow chart. Then total equal n1 plus n2 plus n3. Then average equal total divided by 3, and the display or print. You can write anything, right? So that you have the flexibility. Print total average, then stop ON. Right? That is why I said you have flexibility to write anything. You have flexibility to write anything, but so should be simple and easily understandable without ambiguity. Because this language is natural language, it may contain different ambiguous statements. Okay, done. Hello, Minuga.
Yeah, sorry, my mic was muted. But yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay, good. Right, then actually we learn how to convert this to a practical runnable Python code. So this is Python ideally. So I think you have obtained the same in Linux. Then just take a new file. And we have practiced this last day. I just want to summarize the lesson before we begin the next part. And you are not going to write this begin and end. Instead of that, you are going to input this n1, n2, n3. So let's say n1 is input. You can give a message, enter number 1. So repeat the process again, enter number 2, enter number 3. So getting number 1, number 2, and number 3. Then you can say the total is n1 plus n2 plus n3, and the average is total divided by 3. Then you can print the total is, comma, you can print the total there. And average is, similarly, you can write average is average. That's it, but there is a small mistake. Can you remember that? In this code won't run. This code will run up to here, but after that it won't run. Can you remember why?
Maybe it's because it says like total is. and average is?
Yeah, total actually they will calculate. So can you remember if we give numbers like 2, 3, and 4, it will display total as 234.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Can you remember that? Because it will
Yeah, I
consider
remember.
that as string, right? String or text. It will add 2 and 3 and 4. Then it is 234. So that can be done, but can you divide such a way? You can't divide. When it comes to divide, you can't divide. You can add string. You can concatenate string, but you can't divide string. So that is the reason. So yeah, you get the error. Let me run this and let me show this practically. If I run this, say sequence Python, you can see enter number 1 is running, enter number 2 is running, enter number 3 it's also running, but you can see it's average. So in the line 5 it gives the error. So this is the nature of Python, right? The Python is called interpreted language. Interpreted means each line will run independently. Sorry, not independently, each line will be executed one after another, not the entire code. So the first line, no errors. Second line, no errors. Third line, no errors. Fourth line, no errors. So it will be executed. If I ask here, print total, that will also be executed. So let me run it. Now, yeah, I'm putting the same figures that I put earlier. Okay, you can see the total is 45, 63, 30, 67, 34. But that is incorrect expectation, right? That is not what we expected. We expected mathematical total, but it has given us the concatenated total. So can you remember this error? This occurred last week also.
Yeah.
Then what is the solution? How to make it a number? So this is not a number. They will consider this as like, it's like this. Okay, if you give something like this, let me show the magic, right? So then instead of the first number, I'm writing my first name. Instead of the second number, I'm typing my second name, third name again, and then I press enter. It says total is Dasun Nilanjana Sirimevan. Right? So actually what is happening there? They are not calculating the real total. They are just adding them together. It's like a chain, right? It's like a chain, just adding one to the next, but that is not mathematical addition. That is why. So this is confusing for some students because they think this is always mathematical addition. No, even strings can be added or text can be added this way. Here you can see text is added, so it forms my full name. But can we average the name? No, we can't average the name. Same thing will happen here. So it will calculate, it will concatenate, it will make the chain, but it doesn't know how to calculate the average. So what is the solution for this? And if you can remember, you have to make it integer. Can you remember? Right. Okay. You have to make it. Yeah, integer. Then only. So that is right. So you have to learn with the errors. Otherwise, like, so it is like in sailing, it is advisable to use kind of if the situation is windy and there are like storms, that is the best place to sail. Why? Because you can learn it. Otherwise, like if you are in a calm and quiet environment, and if you are sailing there, you will not get the experience. That is why go through the errors. So it's very difficult to write perfect code at the beginning. So, but you can learn with errors. Okay, IIT here. So that will give me the solution. So let's run this now. And if I'm trying to give the numbers, let's give some numbers there. You can see it's producing the total and the average without any trouble. Because now it can do. But the problem comes if I try to do something weird like this. So what I did earlier, I have typed my name. So let me repeat. If I try to do the same, the first line itself, it will give an error. Why? The name is not an integer. Understood? then the first line will cause an error. So earlier in the initial stage, actually fifth line gave the error. Fifth line gave the error due to the average calculation, because that is not possible. But here, if I try to enter string into the number, so in the first line itself, it will give the error. Right? So please learn this logically. Understood why I'm getting error? Because it is string. So I'm asking to convert it to integer. No, it's not possible. This is not, Dasun is not a number. So cannot be converted. So it's giving an error. Okay. So clear, or do you have any doubts?
That makes sense.
Yes. Are you clear, or do we have any doubts?
Oh no, I understand it.
Okay. Then let's move to the second control structure. This is the first control structure. We have learned some additional things also, like converting to string, and what is concatenation, just adding without mathematical addition. So strings can be added like this. You can see, so let me show in the terminal itself here, in the shell itself. I can add 6 plus 7, it will mathematically add. But if I try to add quotation 6 and quotation 7, so it will be added like 67. This is string. So this is the difference, right? Another way of showing. 6 plus 7 is 13, but 6 plus 7 is 67. This 6 is quoted and this 7 is also quoted. So adding names, I can add quoted name, Dasun plus Nilanjana. So it will be added as, to be concatenated. So adding this as. But if I try to add Dasun plus Nilanjana, it won't work because it's not recognizing that. But if I say something like this, Dasun equals 7 and Nilanjana equal 10, if I ask you to add Dasun plus Nilanjana, what would be the answer?
17.
Yes, it's 17. So be careful, right? So because sometimes it gives an error, but when it is meaningful, it won't produce error. Because if I just ask to add Dasun and Nilanjana, it gives error because it cannot recognize what is Dasun, what is Nilanjana. But if I quote it, it knows. If I quote it, it knows it is a string, so it will be added. If I quote a number, it will be added as a string. If I just give a number without quoting, it will add as an integer. And these are the points that you would need to know. Just practice it. Just practice it, and if you want, you can just write down. So these points. And what happens if one is a number, the other one is text, like this?
Would it be a syntax error?
Yeah, syntax error. It's not calculated. And there's a magical thing in Python, so you can just multiply a string. Right? This is not happening in Java or other languages, but you can multiply Dasun by 3, so you'll get Dasun, Dasun, Dasun. It's like Basil, Basil, Basil. I don't know. Okay. So this multiplication can be applied to strings too. Multiplication use asterisk, right? Asterisk signature, asterisk sign for the multiplication. Just practice. These things are important because you should know where it gives errors and where it doesn't. So tell me if you are done. Tell me if you have practiced and understood.
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay. Shall we move to the second control structure then? Okay. Okay, actually, before we begin, I think, yes, before we start the second control structure, so let's study operators in Python. So this is something that we need to consider, right? These operators in Python, how it works. Okay, so please write down the heading. Operators in Python. Python operators. I'll give the summary note, but descriptive note I'll be emailing, right? I'll give you a summary note, a descriptive note I'll be emailing. Okay, Python operators. Operators means how you can do certain calculations and also certain logical things. So there are different ways of doing. So these things are straightforward. The first thing is arithmetic operators. So just write down, and you can practice in the terminal itself. Without taking a new file, you can practice. So addition. So we already learned. So addition can be used for two purposes. What are they?
Adding names and adding numbers.
Yes, adding names and adding numbers. Actually, one is called mathematical addition. The other one is called concatenation. Mathematical addition and concatenation. That is the programming way of telling that.
Ah, okay.
Right here, addition. So addition will be like addition. So this can be done for numbers, mathematical addition, and as well as adding text. So that is called concatenation. The word is concatenation. That is a programming way of telling that. It's not down. So you can add numbers and you can add text. Adding text is called concatenation. Adding numbers is mathematics, mathematical addition. Okay. Then subtraction. Subtraction can be done only for numbers. You can subtract. So 9 minus 3 is 6. You can subtract fractional things, 7.8 minus 2.3. So it's calculated. But text cannot be subtracted. So if you try to subtract, Dasun is there. If you try to subtract D from this, it won't happen. You can't do such things. Subtraction is only for numbers. Addition is for numbers and text both, but subtraction for numbers only. Division. So division is forward slash here. The forward slash indicate division. If I divide 6 by 3, it is 2.0. So remember, in Python, it always provides a floating point value or a decimal point value for division. Even though 6 divided by 3, you can exactly divide it. 6 divided by 3 is 2, but it says 2.0, right? So that is the nature. So even it is divisible. Okay, 100 divided by 10, you know it is 10, but this says 10.0. 100 divided by 9, so it is 11.1111. So that is. Okay, so there are some finite divisions like this, and there are some infinite divisions like this. 10 divided by 3, it's infinite. Right? It will round it for like limited, it will round it for limited numbers, but it's going on. But it will try to round off. Right? So these finites and infinites. So these divisions are there. And some integer values even. So let's say 60 divided by 2 is the answer is 30, but it gives as 30.0. That is the nature. That is the division. Multiplication. Multiplication, you can multiply, but use asterisk for multiplication. So then if I multiply a decimal number, the answer will be decimal. If I even this is 2.0, the answer will be 16.0. or floating number, so answer will be floating. But if I multiply integer numbers, the answer will be integer. What happens if I multiply with division? So what will be the answer? Is it floating point or is it integer?
It's going to be an integer.
It's going to be a floating. Right? That is the. If
Oh.
division is there, somewhere if you can find the division, the final answer will come in floating. So that is the nature of division. For here division, somewhere if division is there in this equation, the answer will be floating point. That's the nature.
Okay.
Okay. So then the multiplication, division together, it's work like this, and then so let's say this multiplication and double multiplication is used for exponent. You know exponent? Exponent is what is the same.
Yeah, I know what an exponent is.
Then 2 exponent 3. So what is that answer?
So that's 2 to the power of 3.
Yeah, 2 to the power of 3. What is the answer?
8.
8. Yeah. So double asterisk will give the exponent. And percentage mark is not for the percentage actually, that is to give the remainder of division. Okay, 6 divided by 3. So what remains after division? The answer is 2 remaining. The answer is 2. 6 divided by 3, answer is 2. What is the remaining? Remainder? Remainder means integer, like integer number after dividing the number, what is remaining? Okay, you have 6 apples. You are going to divide that to 3 people. Maybe your mother, father, and you. So then each one will get 2 apples. Father will get 2, mother will get 2, and you will get 2. So what is remaining? After dividing, what remains? Yes. Do you have any more apples?
No.
No, it's 0. Understood?
Yeah.
Right, it is not the division answer, it is the remainder answer. Okay, similarly, think that you have 10 apples and you are going to divide this with 3 people. So each one will get 3 apples. And what is remaining?
1.
1. Yes. So that is the remainder. And let's say you have 997 apples and you are going to divide this between 999 people. So what remains?
An error, I'm guessing.
No, actually, you can't divide, right?
Yeah.
Right, because you have less apples than people. So then actually, the result will be 997, but all remains, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then 999, and you are going to divide within 997 people.
You have 3 apples left.
2 or 3? 999 apples within 997 people. So all 997 people will get 1 apple, and there will be 2 remaining, right? Just subtract 999, subtract 9997 from that, and 2 will be the remaining. Understood?
Yeah.
8. So then now I'm asking the mathematical way. 8 modulus 4. The remainder is
4.
Remainder is 0.
Oh.
Understand? After dividing, what remains, right? After dividing, what remains? Okay. 7 modulus 5. 7 modulus 5.
2.
2. Okay, correct. 6 modulus 3.
0.
6 modulus 3, 0. And 90 modulus 8.
Hmm. 90. Let's see.
Just divide by 8 and see. 90 you divide by 8, and so they have 1 there, 10 there, like 1, 11. So 11 into 90 will be 88. So what is remaining? It's 2, right?
2. Yeah.
Likewise, it calculates and gives the remainder. Okay, so I'll do very simple mathematics with this. If a number divided by 2 and remainder is 0, the particular number is even. If a number divided by 2 and the remainder is 1, that is odd number. Can you remember this? You learn in the junior school, I think. Odd and even.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it is fully divisible by 2, it is even. If it's not fully divisible, if remaining 1, that is odd. So you can calculate odds and even like this. This is in the remainder. And next one is interesting. So, 6 divided by 3 was 2.0. But this double division, or this is called floor division. Floor division will give you the floor value. So floor and ceiling, I think you know the difference. Floor is in the ground and ceiling is above. So floor value is 2. Right? Floor value is 2. Let's divide 7 by 7, floor divided by 3, and you'll get 2. 7 floor divided by 2, you'll get 5. 7 floor divided by 2. Yes.
Is 3.
Yes, it's
3.
3. Yeah, so 7 floor divided by 3 is 3. Floor division will be the floor value. Floor means in the ground. Ground value, ceiling is above, right? Floor and ceiling value. So, but you don't have any ceiling division. So ceiling division can be done with math. So you can say import math, and then you can say math dot ceil, and then you can give the value 7 divide by 3, and that will give the ceiling value. So that is 7 divided by 3. Floor value is 2, ceiling value is 3. Ceiling can above. Floor is down. 7 floor divided by 3 is 2. 7 ceiling divided by is 3. Actually 7 divided by 3 is, this is the actual value, 2.3. Floor value is 2, ceiling value is 3. Ceiling value means the next integer. Floor value means the lower integer, and ceiling is the next integer. Understood the difference, floor and ceiling?
Yeah.
So this is a different one, right? I'll teach you what is important and all, right? That is different one. Okay. So then actually we have learned about all the arithmetic operators. Now it's high time to do some calculations. And here I have given some examples. You can try this out. So after doing that, right, you will understand what these numbers are here. So if you subtract 5 minus 2 will be 3, but 5 minus 3.0 will be 2.0. Why? Because there is a floating value. Again, if there's a floating value, right, if there's a floating value, the final answer will be floating. So what is this? Any idea about this?
That is, I'm not sure.
0x123, 0x14. What is that?
That would be, what's the word?
No. Do you know hexadecimal?
Hmm?
Hexadecimal numbers?
No.
No. Okay, some numbers are represented in hex. I'll teach you that. That is not our number system. Do you know binary numbers?
Kind of.
Here, this is binary. This is octal, and this is hexadecimal. Let's learn that another day, right? This part is you can just ignore because you don't know these numbers. This is hexa, this is binary, this is this is octal, and this is binary. These are binaries. We just ignore this part, and this is scientific notation. You know scientific notation?
I've heard of it, but I don't use it.
This is 2.3 multiplied by 10 to the power 2. Okay, let me show. (2.3) E plus 2 is 2.3 multiplied by 10 to the power 2. What is the answer? What is the answer?
Multiplied by 10
multiplied by 10 to the power 2. What is 10 to the power 2? It is 100, right?
Yeah.
So 2.3 multiplied by 100. What is the answer?
It is 230.
230. Yes. It's 230. And what is this? 2.5. 2.5 E5. What is the answer?
So it's to the power of 5?
Yeah, power 5. To the 2.5 into 10 to the power 5. That is the scientific scale. Yes?
250,000.
Okay, 250,000. So this is what the scientific notation, right?
Yeah.
Can you understand now? Okay, another
yeah, I understand.
Another one, 2.6 or some number, let's say 78.2 E minus 2. This is 78.2 minus means 10 to the power minus 2. What happened when power is minus?
It's negative.
It's negative. So then it will divide, right? It will divide.
Yeah.
So this will divide by 10 to the power 2 means 100. 78.2 divided by 100 is 0.78. That is the negative exponent for negative scientific notation. Right? The positive one is multiplying by the 10 to the power, and the second one, or the negative one, is divided by the 10 to the particular 10 to the power. Understood?
Yeah.
So tell me the answer for this thing. 2 E minus 3. 235 E minus 3.
So it's to the power of 3. So 0.435.
Yes, exactly. 0.435. Good. So this, I think you can remember. The number systems, let's do it later. But this scientific notation, I think you can remember, right?
Yes.
Shall you note down this quickly?
Okay.
You can do this, and while doing, you can note down. So this adding and subtracting. Adding numbers. So these are the examples. But don't write this. Other number systems like binaries, hexa, because you don't understand that. And yeah, I'll give you that specifically to you. Otherwise, like you will be confusing. So let me give that specifically. Then you know how to do this. Otherwise, you'll be confusing, right? These arithmetic operators. Let me show all these things together. Okay. Normal addition that you know. Adding two strings. But adding string with a number is an error. No need to write down the full error, you just say error, syntax error, type error. Then if you try to add 5 plus 6, it adds, right, as a concatenation. And then the scientific norm addition 2.5 E plus 2 is this, and minus is this. So if I add the minus 1 is some plus number, you will get the total, right? That is the scientific addition. And so there is another way of converting. You can add high plus 50, but this 50 need to be converted to a string, str. So then it will be added. That is high 50. And similarly, you can convert characters. You can add 6 plus ORD, a character, single character. So that will be added because ORDA will give the value of the character. Simple A is 97 and capital A is 65. Character has a value. So that can be taken. Therefore, ORD will give. And if you have CHR, the character, it will do the reverse. STR will make it string. ORD will make a character a number. CHR will convert number to character. Okay, this part is enough for the addition. Adding text, adding numbers, adding scientific numbers, converted text, converted numbers, converted text, converted characters. These are the possibilities. Then
this meeting is being recorded.
Subtracting. Subtracting is applicable only for the numbers. I couldn't tell one more. So if it is a fractional number like this, so then the answer will be fractional, right? 6.0 plus 4 will be 10.0. So similarly, if I do something like this, 3 minus 3, 3 minus 4, 3 minus 3 is anyway 0. So then if I try to subtract large numbers, so use this, and if I subtract the decimal numbers, use like this, and even these numbers are possible for the subtraction. And not just that, you can subtract scientific numbers. This is scientific number subtraction. You get answers like this. And it is not possible to subtract hello from highs, that is hello H. This subtraction won't work, can't do. You can't even subtract a number from text. No, that is also an error. That won't happen. Subtraction is only for the numbers, not for the text. Then, but you can convert and subtract. Like you can subtract, let's say, you can get the ORD value of capital letter A, which is 65, and subtract 10 from that, and that will give this one. Okay, let's do some other calculation. Let's get the ORD value of Z and subtract 10 from that. So that is 80. And if you get the CHR of the particular, So what is the character? Can you tell me? This is a kind of question that you can think. ORD is ZE Z minus 10. ORD Z is the character value of Z. That minus 10 is basically 10 characters. So 10 numbers subtracted and you'll get the lesser one. So 80 is another character. This 10 characters before Z, that is character P. Because P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So there are 10 characters forward. The character has numbers, right? A is 65, B is 66, C 67. Likewise, up to Z, these are numbers, right?
Yeah.
Each character has a number. So you can subtract those character values. That can be done. And you can do something like this also. INT, you can convert a quoted number and subtract some value from that. That is possible. Because that quoted number will be converted to int. But if you try to convert the text, it won't work. Can't do that. These are some possibilities. Just know about the applicability of each. Tell me after you finish writing. And this is a special case, like but you can say true plus true. So this is very special case in Python. It is 2 because true has the value of 1. Actually, in in the binary, this 1 is considered as true, and then not simple true. It is capital true, right? Capital T true. So 1 is considered as true, and 0 is considered as false. That is in binary arithmetic. So this is applicable here also. True plus true value 2. So what about true plus false? It is only 1. And false plus false? False plus false is, what is the value? False is 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0.
For 0.
Because false has a value, true has a value. That is why it can be added. So these are specially added and subtracted. Possible to subtract as well. True minus true is 0. So that is also possible. These are special cases that you can see. Because true and false has value. And the next is multiplication. In multiplication, you can generally multiply the numbers. And you can multiply the floating point numbers. When you multiply floating point numbers, the answers will be in floating point, right? But if you add if you divide somewhere, let's say 5 divided by 2, or let's say 10 divided by 2 multiplied by 5 and multiplied by 2 again, same 10 will come, but the answer will be 10.0. Right? The reason is when the division is present, the answer will be automatically converted to floating. When division is present, automatically the answer will be converted to floating. And you can add you can subtract, divide, and you can use these scientific notations. All these are possibilities. And special case, you can multiply characters. Characters, you can multiply. That is a special case. But you can't multiply character by another character, right? So that is another thing. You can't multiply a character by another character. So let's say hash multiplied by percentage. That won't happen. But you can multiply it hash separately, hash multiplied by 3 and add it with the percentage multiplied by 4. So that can be done. Exponent is where the double asterisk comes. You can get a fractional exponents too. And division is where you are dividing numbers. Floor division is you are getting the float in value of the particular, just the floor value. That is double division or floor division. And modulus will give the remaining value. Modulus will give the remaining value. Okay, that is about the basic arithmetics and arithmetic operators that we learned today. Okay, we have more to discuss. So that is the last thing is operator precedence. How this is applied. I'll give this note about the operator precedence, but just go through that before we wind up. Let's go through that one more time. Operator precedence, I think you know the BODMAS theory. BODMAS theory is something like that. Let's say 6 multiplied 6 plus 2 multiplied by 3. What is the answer? 6 plus 2 multiplied by 3.
12.
Sorry?
12.
12. So why is 12? Why it's not 24? The reason is first the multiplication will happen, right? First addition won't happen first. First the multiplication. That is called precedence. First multiplication, then comes the addition. So therefore the answer will be 12. But if you want 24, you have to bracket this and tell 6 plus 2 should happen first. Then 6 plus 2 will be 8. 8 into 3 will be 24. Okay. So these are, so I think you know this in mathematics, right? General mathematics, you have learned about this. This BODMAS theory, which happened first, the brackets will happen first, the multiplication. Actually in Python, so in most of the programming languages, exponent will happen first. Then the complement. Complement means the negativity of some numbers. Like let's say you have something like this, 4 plus minus 2. That answer is 2. This minus 2 is unary operator. Minus 2 says this number is negative, right? That negativity, positivity, that will happen next. This is not 4 minus 2. This says 4 plus. The minus 2 is the negativity of the number. Let's say if I tell 4 into minus 2, so will be minus 8. Because minus 2 will be happen first. Minus 2 is telling, it's not subtraction. It says the negativity of the number. I hope you understand, right?
Yeah.
It's not subtraction, it's the negative number, negative 2. So therefore, the negativity happened first, then the multiplication. So first the exponent, then the negativity, and then negativity, positivity, then the multiplication, division, all these things, modulation, etc. Then plus minus, and there are some more operations. Still, we have not learned this. That's why I said I will give this note. But just try to, okay, so very simple example. Can you find the answer for this before we wind up? Just try to find the answer. Don't type it, right? Without typing, tell me the answer. If you type, you will get the answer. It has all these things together that we learned today. So what would be the answer? You can write down and figure out.
Okay.
You know the exponent happened first. So then 2 into 3. Sorry, 3 into 2. 3 to the power 2. 3, not 3 into 2. 3 to the power 2. That is 9. Then you know the modulus plus, sorry, then the multiplication, division, modulations, floor division, that will happen. Actually, if all are there, that will happen from the left to right. The order will be left to right because all are in the same level. Here, all 4 are in the same level. So then it will happen left to right. That means 3 to the power 2 is 9. Then this will happen left to right. So modulus will happen first. 7 modulus by 3. So 1 remaining. 1 into 5 is 5. Here is 9. Here 7 modulus 4. 7 floor division 4. Floor divisions 1. Then here you have 5 plus 9 will be 14 minus 1 will be 30. Okay. So this is what happening there. You can write down that as well. But this will directly give the answer without the steps, but you should know how it happens. Clear on this?
Yeah.
Okay. If anything difficult, please let me know. I don't know whether I'm too fast or not. So if I'm too fast, tell me, because this is not the way that I'm doing normally. But I thought that you can catch well. That is why I'm just speeding up. I initially thought to do slowly, but now I can understand that your learning speed has improved. That is why I'm just moving forward a little faster. But still, if you have difficulties, tell me, right?
Okay.
Are you okay with this? Yes. Yes, Putha?
I understand. Yeah, I understand it.
You understood. Okay. Then let's talk from here. Actually, tomorrow you have a class. So I couldn't tell that just last day because I just thought that I don't know, because you have to talk with your parents and tell. Anyway, so I talked to your father and just we have arranged on tomorrow also the same time. So then let's meet tomorrow. Good night.
Okay. Good night. Good morning.